what is up, ladies and gents? I thought I would do a video today talking about the inghams. Thought it would be an interesting video to do. So, last night's vlog, I posted a comment on yesterday's vlog, and I said, so all I really said was to stop. All I said was for them just to stop letting kids dive in shallow water, because that's what they keep doing. They keep letting the kids dive in shallow water, and it's a bit concerning. You fear that one day one of the kids will do that and they'll end up paralysed, or if not anything, if not worse. Like me posting that comment, it wasn't, I wasn't trying to come across in a nasty way or anything like that. It wasn't meant to be it wasn't really meant to have been a nasty comment, but for some reason the inghams saw that as a nasty comment. Me saying to them, stop letting kids dive in shallow water. Apparently, for some reason, the inghams saw that as a nasty comment, and I don't quite understand why that was seen as a nasty comment, because it wasn't meant that way. It really wasn't meant in the way that it was taken. It was taken as a really nasty comment, and it wasn't meant that way. The reason I said that, I posted that comment purely out of concern, because I was worried that if letting kids do that, if letting kids dive in shallow water, one day one of the kids will end up getting hurt. I had people telling me to mind my own business, and stop interfering and all that. And I just thought to myself, like, a lot of comments made by the ingham in response to my comment I posted were really unnecessary. Like, there was no need for them to be being as rude as they were, telling me to, it's like, how is someone warning them to be careful classed as someone interfering? I don't understand how that's classed as somebody interfering or whatever. I don't think it's like, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I don't think there's anything. I don't see how that's classed as interfering, because it's not. It was more. That comment was purely made out of concern. That's all it was. So, what's really gotten to me recently, I think really got me fed up, is how every single vlog they've been putting out recently has had like a clickbait vlog title. Like, that's what that's what really makes me laugh. Like, how can people not see that every one of their vlogs are just a massive clickbait? Because that's really basically what they are. It's just a massive clickbait. And I don't think people are being too harsh by when it comes to saying things like that. I think that things like that just have to be said. I don't know what to say at this point. I really don't.
Yeah.
That was. Every single one of their vlog titles recently has been a massive clickbait. Very easy to see that. And that's doing more damage to their channel than it is doing them any good. Suffice to say, to be honest with you, it's hard to see the inghams channel survive, and it feels like they are killing their channel off big time. And constant clickbaiting isn't gonna do them any good. It's gonna, she's gonna keep pissing people off. it's gonna piss people off more and more and more. As people, it's just like, that's why people, their views have been so low. I mean, they've gone off on this fan trip and they've not really shown anything that I would say was particularly spectacular. I mean, the vlogs over the last week or so really haven't been that good. There's been a lot of clickbait, there's been a lot of, really there's been a lot, I would say there's been a lot of really dodgy thumbnail, like clickbait vlog titles and things like that, and it's just, purely unnecessary, but it shows that there's a certain level of desperation. With damn the fact that they're having to resort to using clickbait just to try and get a few extra views. You can see that they're desperate for views. It was funny how, I remember, as I said about posting that comment on yesterday's vlog, people saying, oh, it's just, trolls sitting behind their keyboards, they wouldn't dare say anything to Chris and Sarah's face, but I bet Chris wouldn't dare call somebody a clown or a dumbass to their face, but he would be quite happy to call somebody out online. Obviously, as you guys will know, not yesterday, the day before, I posted I posted 3 videos, where I really kind of went in hard on Chris over the thumbnails he keeps using for the videos, and I did feel that the thumbnails he keeps using for his videos are somewhat inappropriate. And I really did make my feelings known on that. And it was to be honest, I've been wanting to make my feelings known on that for a very long time. I can't deny that. I can't deny that I did enjoy posting those videos that I did. I really did enjoy calling Chris out in those videos I put out the other day. Obviously I was going to put this video out yesterday. I was going to do this video yesterday, but I just couldn't find the time yesterday. My mind was on other things yesterday. But today, I have more of a clearer mind, more of a clearer mindset, so that I am happy enough to do this video. But I feel like this needed to be said. They just need to stop with the constant clickbait. I think I've reported practically every single vlog they've uploaded recently, either for child endangerment or for clickbait. It feels like they're the problem with Chris and Sarah, it feels like they're one big accident waiting to happen. I was laughing when I posted that comment yesterday, and someone was one of the iFans tried to say, oh, well, the inghams know what they're doing, and try saying, oh, well, Chris and Sarah wouldn't let their kids do something if they knew that it was really dangerous or unsafe. But I think we've seen a lot of proof, we've seen a lot of evidence in their vlogs that begs to differ. I think all they've really shown people is that they are willing to let their kids do something, even if it is incredibly dangerous. They do not care. They will still let their kids do it. I'm pretty sure that Chris and Sarah know the risks that come with letting their kids dive in shallow water. But the fact that they're still willing to let their kids do that, it's just incredibly crazy. It's like you wouldn't think that a parent, you would think that they as parents wouldn't let their kids do things like that purely for safety reasons. But let's face it, we've all seen Chris and Sarah do a hell of a lot, allow their kids to do things that others wouldn't think was dangerous and others wouldn't think was safe. They have been known to let their kids do things that are dangerous and unsafe. And I don't think that anyone would actually deny that, or would. It's just madness, absolute madness. But yeah, it's just madness with them at the moment. You know, like, I wish I could say I was being harsh about this, but I honestly, Jesus, I've been on for 10 minutes already. Oh, blimey. But yeah, I genuinely don't think I'm being too negative about this. You know, I think that anybody with an ounce of common sense would say a lot of the things I've said. You know, I like that. I think the iFan really think they're getting to us with a lot of the things they say, but a lot of the things the iFans are saying, they don't really get to me that much. You know, I try not to let them get to me too much, but sometimes there are things that the iFans say that really do trigger me. Like, it's when they say things about like Chris and Sarah being great parents and living it's the best lives and things like that. That really triggers me because we all know that that isn't true. We all know that they're not living it's the best life at all. You know, it's when you think about it, you think about the amount of things that they're actually depriving kids of. One of those things being actually being a decent top quality education. You know, I actually think about how much happier those kids would be if they were in school. You know, and they were, you know, socialising with people their age, you know, every day. You know, but at the end of the day, it would mean that the big issue here is that if the kids were at school 5 days a week, it would basically mean that Chris and Sarah wouldn't be allowed to go away whenever the hell they want to. You know, that's the only reason they ever took their kids out of school. You know, it was purely so that they could go away, but you know, whenever they wanted during term time, and they didn't have to ask permission for that. You know, and it's like at the end of the day, if the kids were at school all day every day, it's like what would Chris and Sarah actually do with themselves all day? You know, they would have nothing to film for most of the day, would they? Because it is really at school. You know, so they don't, so they wouldn't have hardly anything to film. You know, and it's just, it's just the truth of the situation. Like, I have to laugh so bad, well, like, so much when I see what they're willing to do, and I see like what they're trying to do with this. It's just absolutely ridiculous at this point. I don't know what else to say. Like, I honestly don't know what I'm supposed to say on this. You know, I wish I'd been aesthetic, but we all know that. So in fact, it's like when I look at Chris and Sarah, I see two people who have never ever cared about what's best for their kids. They've only ever cared about what's best for them. You know, they've only ever cared about, it's like this whole, this whole move to Dubai. They only ever really cared about how they were benefiting from it. I don't really feel like Chris and Sarah ever really cared about how much their kids would actually benefit from the move to Dubai. You know, it's just, like, this has to be said. Because, every part of it is true. You know, I'm not going to apologise for posting a comment warning them to be careful about letting their kids dive in shallow water. You know, I don't get what's so bad about posting a comment like that, warning someone to, to be careful about letting their kids do that. You know, I wasn't necessarily saying that. Well, I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily say that they should stop their kids doing it, but just make sure that, their kids are being careful so that they don't injure themselves. You know, just make sure that they're not, that the water isn't shallow enough that if the kids dived into it, they would actually hurt themselves. You know, I mean, it doesn't matter. Then again, to be honest, it doesn't really matter how shallow the water is. It's still dangerous. And I'm not going to apologise if if that's classed as someone interfering. I don't know. This has been like, how is somebody showing concern for the kid's safety classed as someone interfering? Well, I don't see how someone, being concerned for the safety of the kids is classed as somebody interfering. You know, I honestly don't see it like that. And I don't get why the iFam saw it like that, why the iFam saw my comment as interfering, you know, because I wasn't trying to do that. I wasn't trying to interfere in any particular way. I was just showing some concern for the safety of the hits. I was just voicing my opinion that I didn't think it was safe for them to be letting hits dive into shallow water, because there is that possibility that the hits would get hurt. You know, that's all I was trying to say. I mean, yeah, maybe I would have worded my comment different, but to be honest, it wouldn't really matter how I worded my comment, because no matter how I word my comments, the iFan would still see it as, you know, still see it as being rude. The iFan would still see it as interfering. So I was like, how am I supposed to word that sort of comment in a way that doesn't come across as me trying to interfere? You know, there's no way for me to word that comment. You know, stop letting your kids dive into shallow water, dive in shallow water. How is that a rude comment? How is that someone being rude? That's someone showing that's actually showing someone showing concern. That's not someone being rude. That's someone actually showing that they are concerned for the safety of the kids. And that's someone who, I posted that comment purely because I'm concerned that one day one of those kids will end up getting paralysed, or will end up paralysed for life, because their parents were their parents were continuing to let them dive in shallow water, which isn't the safest thing to do. But then again, because Sarah always know best, you know, like they act like they do anyway. But you know, that's all I have to really say. Really, it's just get a few things off my chest. But I hope you enjoyed the video anyway. And I will see you for another one soon. Bye bye.